My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Many of you hear the term AI, and it tends to go to some of our mind. And we just start to think, hey, this thing sinister. But let me alleviate that fear. That would have came from the Terminator movie. When we hear about artificial intelligence, we tend to think the world is going to end, because that would have been something that was indoctrinated to us in the Terminator movie. And if many of you would have watched Terminator, trust me, the first time you see a man do rip off his skin and you see the metal and like, wow. This is amazing. But the thing about it is this, people of Trinidad and Tobago, artificial intelligence have been here for the longest while. A simple thing as our smartphone. Let me go into the smartphone. What artificial intelligence do there is when we enter WhatsApp, suggestions and all these type of things, that is artificial intelligence. In different places we call it different things, the algorithm. But what control it? Artificial intelligence. Programming. What control the programming? Artificial intelligence. But the thing about it is this. It have become more sophisticated over the years. There are things like chat GPT. I said the wrong thing, you know. Chat GPT. That is the correct one. Yeah, I mean that's the main one right about now when we're talking about chat GPT. And artificial intelligence have reached a place that we could do practically anything. We could turn pictures into videos. We could turn videos into pictures. We could write scripts. We could write books. We could ask AI anything, and trust me, you'll get a positive answer. There are Gemini, there are Perplexity, and there are other AI you could search and see. There are things like Da Vinci, what generates pictures through prompts. You type it in, and you will be able to get anything that you're looking for, or create anything. There are AI art going on all over. But why am I telling you all of this? As a matter of fact, let me get straight to the point. The reason why I'm saying all of this, people of Trinidad and Tobago, right here in Point Fortin, our AI class have commenced. This is the third class, but however, I've only been there twice. Errol, don't vex with me. I and my nephew. And what we have been learning so far is how to make movies through AI. Some of the projects that would have been highlighted there, up till this day, I am astonished that people is already doing it. But the thing about it is this. When we refuse to change with what is taking place in and around the world, a matter of fact, I try to sound smart there, but around the world, when we refuse to change with the changes that is taking place around the world, we will get left behind. When I say left behind, right behind. Now, what I am going to do is go deep into what would have been taking place within the class and what we are actually learning. I am going to sneak a little seminar. But the thing about it is, why am I doing this? When it is free. It is free. You could call, many of you who are Errol number, call Errol. You want to get in contact with the class, call me. Workers' Rights. Well, I keep saying Workers' Rights. But 333-2176. 333-2176. Call me on this number, and you know, I don't know if it might have a little room, but this is the first of the first. Well, the next time I sure it go have other classes. We're going to learn to construct movie, construct script, put it into AI, generate movie template, things that will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars could be now done with strictly AI. I wouldn't say free because some of the apps and things, you have to pay for the software and things you have to pay for. But anything can be done. And let me go into a little background. As a matter of fact, let me go into the class. So there's a little sneak peek for free, and even if you can attend the class for free. So join us there. Tuesday is the next class, but however, today is Sunday. So if you want to be on board, call me, call Errol, and we go save a little seat for you and all that. You did. And it's that.
Of his younger brother. Khalil, younger brother, 23. College dropout. Turned small time hustler. Impulsive, sharp, but deep down once out of the game. Don Rojo. Charismatic, but sadistic drug lord, has a personal grudge against Jaden from years back.
His big brother. Mama Lorraine.
The strong-willed but aging mother held hostage.
She's the family that held hostage.
Liar. Jaden's 10-year-old niece,
Khalil's
daughter, from a past relationship.
So one thing you can notice here, if Khalil is 23 and he has a 10-year-old daughter, means he had that child when he was 13 years old. He was a baby himself. So one of the things he can also develop is saying, well, Khalil was forced to be a man when he was a child. So a lot of things that came at him, he might have wanted to do. Just I'm going to extrapolate from a storytelling perspective. So now we're reading the plot outline, the conflict, because that is one of the most important things in storytelling is the conflict, right? What it is, who am I going up against? So usually a story has a protagonist, the star of the story, and an antagonist, so pro and anti. So basically, that is how the fight is. And usually the story is, the pro has a goal he wants to achieve, and the antagonist is the one standing in his way. So if you watch John Wick, or you watch Star Wars, or any film, you usually see the hero, and then it has somebody trying to stop him from achieving the goal.
A villain.
A villain.
Yeah.
That's basically. So continue to read.
Conflict outline. Opening scene set. Visual. Flashback of childhood. Two boys playing, laughing.
Cut to present.
Jaden receives bloody package of on his doorstep. Inside is a burner phone and a necklace belonging to his mom.
I understand what it is. It's not really reading out a script. It just highlighting it and it telling whether we like it or not. AI is here, and what you would have seen there is one of the students would have read out just by entering a simple prompt, a line, a matter of fact, and asking AI to generate a story. And that is how complex it is. Now, you get a little call out of the class, and you go see Tim bring this thing to life. Trust me, it is that amazing. And after this, we'll go into the take as to see how we would have even push AI a little bit further. Yes, with just a headache talk, but you go see. Not all woman is headache, eh? Just some.
Yeah, about the scene.
Structure,
Yeah.
right? But guess what? You can develop everything from this. So I'm gonna just read restaurant stuff, right? This one's right. Two boys playing on it. Cut to present. Jaden received a bloody package on his doorstep. Inside is a burner phone and a necklace belonging to his mom. In other words, you have your mom, right? So that's where the hook, the inciting incident, all those things happen at that point in time. A voicemail from Don Rojo says, "You took something from me years ago." Can you see, imagine the menacing voice, Anthony? You took something from me years ago. Now you're going to... You see what I'm talking about? That's the voice for Don Rojo. Now you're going to pay it back. Jaden immediately tracks down Khalil in a dingy apartment who initially denies involvement. Alright? So we're talking about the conflict now. Rojo gives, so the rising tension, Rojo gives them 12 hours now. That's a real good storytelling concept because when you have a deadline, it means that you're always increasing the tension. Right? So now it's 6 hours to go, 3 hours to go, and it's oh my god, how are you going to come out of this? And you sit down there watching on the TV and you say, so how to go out, how to go to work, but guess what going on? Why we see traffic in the traffic in the It was rain by me.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a short film, it has to be whole. But it's
tight, it's real nice.
You know, you can do it like a series.
But I want to tell you, so let's the extrapolation from this. We could now take these stories that develop these series and create series, feature films. Okay, we could develop this and take the characters now. So so let's say we finish the film and you say, well, you know what? I want to know the backstory behind Don Rojo. And so instead of just showing you flashes of what happened between Don Rojo and Jaden, you want to see the whole childhood development, a prequel. Right? And then you might see Don Rojo in prison trying to come out and going after, after the quote-unquote happy ending and whatever it is. So we could do all kinds of stuff. And, as I said, these tools that we're using here could aid you in that. Alright? So, so it gives them a 12-hour job to complete. A task. That's another very, very potent storytelling concept. Retrieve a sealed briefcase from a rival gang's territory, known to be a suicide mission. In other words, you owe me, go and get, and we up and now we ain't find out what you owe, but we know that whoever Don Rojo thinks and Jaden thinks is something really important. So take your mom, but I'm also telling you, maybe this is the mission you needed to complete when he first was with him, and he didn't. If they fail, their mother and niece die, because they have them. Jaden wants to go in smart, plan it out. Khalil wants to hit fast and dirty, which gives you an insight into their personalities. Jaden, the big brother, is more measured, more controlled, right? He's the one that probably was the real gangster. Khalil was on the outskirts watching him. He's the one who was rushing and talk and, the reckless one, right? In school, you always have one like that. He's always ready, slap your boy, and it had the one in the back. He's the one who will actually go and slap, go and defend and stop everybody for whoever is the little group. So we were using a set. So Jaden wants to go into the tension between their different personality boils over, obviously, because now they're in conflict. All resentments resurface. Monday is always like you, and it's because I think how can I think? Jaden left the gang, left Khalil behind. Look at that. So Khalil now feeling abandoned. He ain't telling Jaden that, but he felt abandoned because will you leave me with these people? I come here, I didn't really want to do this, I come here to join you. I just say, it might be the other way around. You might say, well, I want to be like you and feeling, connected to you by being a gang, I want to be better than you. Right. Not knowing that the gun and the gang is not really the bad, it's the mentality, right? Right. So now we're the midpoint of the story, the high stakes. They reluctantly team up. So after all the conflict, the two brothers team up. The mission is messy. They barely escape with a briefcase. Khalil is wounded, so you have what you call suspense and drama and action because he gets wounded. Something happened. Somebody fall, break his leg, whatever it is. Inside the case, not drugs or money, but a list of corrupt cops and politicians. Right? That more valuable than money and drugs because that could bring
that could cause collapse.
and that could end the other gang because now I have control to deal with you, all the rival thing. Right? Blackmail material. They realize Ro doesn't just want revenge, he wants to burn the city and anyone tied to his downfall. In other words, Rojo is making a power play. He gonna wipe out everybody, right? So Jaden is really a pawn in the game. So kidnapping him and him is really
To get him with his skill
set, whatever that is,
Yeah.
right?
Because he gets it.
Because he gets it, right? Jaden might be either something, he might have done army or he just might be one of those people who good at thinking out things and structuring and whatever it is. So this is the climax of the moral dilemma. Jaden wants to use the list to bargain with the police and get immunity. Jaden now understands, all right, here what's going on. We go take the list, but we're not going to give it to Jobman. We're going to basically get our freedom from him, right? Because if he have that list, he have now the power of the gang and the police and the politicians to persecute Jaden and others and hurt the community.
Yeah.
So Khalil wants to trade the briefcase for their family's lives, no questions asked, because he just wants back his mama and his niece, right? A fight breaks out between the brothers and emotions explode, abandonment, blame, guilt, love. That's all the thing. Well, mommy didn't like you more than me and all kind of thing. And you might hear this as a little twist. The girl that he made the child with, it might have been Jaden's girlfriend or a girl that Jaden didn't really like and she just gave him a blind because he was the little brother trying to. So all kind of things might
She wanted to break him in.
she wanted to break him in as punishment for Jaden as well too.
Yeah.
Right? Jaden rejected her, so she said, well, all right, then you reject me, I will
Oh, go for the brother.
I'll go for the brother, right? Alright, a fight breaks out and blame this. In the end, they agree to fake the handoff, which means that I guess Jaden succeed, right? So the final scene, which is called the resolution, Rojo, this is the man, shows up at the meeting point with their family tied up. Jaden distracts him while Khalil ambushes from the shadows. Rojo is killed, but not before Khalil takes a bullet protecting Jaden, which shows almost like a, you know, and you can have like a line somewhere, but I would have taken a bullet for you, boy, Jaden, and you leave me in that gang. So at the end, now when he takes that bullet, it's like, oh my God, full circle. You plant that seed in, right? But police sirens close in. Jaden burns the list. Nobody will have it, right? But the police get now, them can start to take one another and whatever. Choosing family over revenge or leverage. Closing shut. Jaden walks out of the warehouse carrying Khalil, alive but bleeding, a new beginning, but not without scars. I personally like this story. I want to see this film, right? Now, what I like about this process is I could now copy and paste this and say, okay, build out first scene, build it up with dialogue. But we'll do that just now. I want to hear some more of the
stories.
Yours came up?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see what you put in and what you showed.
Not touch screen.
Yeah.
Watch how complex that was, as I would have said, just with a little story, just one line. The capacity to exploit, it's great. A matter of fact, imagine taking one line and creating something out of it. And now you could alter it if you wish. You could say, nah, tweak it to a little bit. It come like you're playing with a plaster seed. And you bend it so, it turns so. You bend it the next way, it turns so you can actually get what you want out of it. Some of you not saying that, playing with AI is not playing fair. But when I think about it, we can't create nothing in this world. Everything that we take from this world, we create something out of it. It wasn't generated from scratch. Plastic, that go from plastic to wood to metal, we would have refined it and turned it into what it is now. So this next version of storytelling, don't let nobody tell you, hey, this thing, hey, you're not playing fair, you're not thinking that. Get that nonsense out there. We can even be more creative than we once was in the past. So this is the take here where we push it a little further. Where the guy would have said, a woman experiencing headaches. Not all you, woman. Some of you, woman is very beautiful, and you don't give people headache.
Right. What I put in was woman experiences extreme headaches.
That's it.
That's it.
No, listen, the reason I like that is because whilst his own was more comprehensive, yours big, so you're going to see the power of the creative.
Yes. But it nothing.
Nothing. And then let me tell you, if you don't like the story, you can say, give me another story, or give me 2 more examples.
And you can get a different version. Something completely different.
Completely different.
Under the same woman experiences extreme.
Yeah. Give you 100.
Yeah. Okay, I'm reading.
Well, here just what would have just went in the prompt. Woman experiencing extreme headache. But let me not take away from the excitement. Let's go in there.
The title. Okay, here is a short film concept based on a woman experiencing extreme headaches. This idea combines psychological mystery with a touch of supernatural or science fiction, leaving room for interpretation and visual storytelling.
So as a producer, you done like, all right.
Don't hear more.
Yeah, don't hear more. Right?
Woman receiving extreme headache. Let me hear.
Title, The Noise Inside, genre, psychological thriller / sci-fi / drama. Length 10 to 15 minutes, tone, moody, tense, intimate. Logline. A woman's life unravels when extreme headaches reveal that she might be receiving memories, one that does not belong to her.
Alright, before you go on. That's amazing, right? But think about what a headache really is. A headache is something paining in your brain. So it now take that into a realm of what? Psychosomatic. What is really going on with this woman? That she's having most likely repressed memories come to the fore. Let me see what
It's not your memories.
maybe it is, maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not. Main character, Lena, early 30s, intelligent but emotionally withdrawn. Works as an audio engineer, attuned to sound, but ironically tormented by it.
Nice. What do you call that? Nice conflict.
Yes.
Parallel.
Juxtaposition.
Structure at one, the symptoms. Lena begins experiencing extreme headaches, piercing and disorienting, often triggered by subtle background noises. Example, hums, static and echoes.
Things that she been experiencing as a sound engineer.
As a sound engineer.
Right.
Right. Song design is key. Every hum, reverb and silence becomes part of the tension. During these episodes, she sees brief flashes of unfamiliar places, a lighthouse on a cliff, a child's bedroom, a violent argument in a kitchen. Her doctor dismisses it as migraines, prescribes pills. They dull her, but the visions persist.
No, I like the word visions. So it giving you,
She getting flashes.
yeah, but it giving you an idea that it could be supernatural as well too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's not just,
It is.
right? It look like it is.
Yes. Act 2, the pattern. Lena starts logging when the headaches occur. She overlays this with ambient frequencies, recording from her daily surroundings. She notices something. The headaches come with a specific pitch, an ultra-low frequency embedded in white noise around her.
For you.
The visions intensify. She's now in the memories, feeling emotions not her own, reliving moments she never experienced. One recurring face, a young girl, always afraid. She isolates a signal, a coded waveform buried in static. She plays it back in her studio and hears a voice. Help me. Yeah, boy. Die chill.
What's red?
Die chill. Hey, this thing this app is awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Actually, the message. Lena traces the signal to a nearby abandoned building. Once children's home shut down after allegations. Storytelling too now.
Listen, the story don't have to be only acting, it could be narration.
Yes.
This is a story that could just be about a narration and
yes,
seeing
yes.
visuals.
I'm watching something like that right now.
Yesterday, boy.
And I tell you now,
We really
that's how we could be
episode 2
making
and
it.
we're like,
And an episode is
yeah,
all
somewhere
about
to
it.
go in on.
The song never
Girl, I can't remember that.
You
You were supposed to be something and say, boy, I'm watching the hangover coming. And girls said, I want the whole hangover. I want 2 hours after I show up. I said, right.
Okay, she enters, guided by auditory hallucinations. As she walks through the space, memories sync with physical locations. Her pain becomes direction. In the basement, she finds an old analog recording device, still powered by a backup generator. It has a reel with the same waveform etched into it. A final headache strikes, gripping and cinematic. Crippling and cinematic, she collapses. In a final vision, Lena is the girl. We relive the trauma through her eyes. The scream she let out was recorded, distorted and embedded in background noise to hide it. Final scene. Lena wakes up, changed. The headache stopped. She publishes the audio as an art piece, echoes of her voice. In the final shot, we see another woman across the world, listening to it on headphones. She pauses. A headache starts. Wow, and the story continues.
So right. So
Wow.
this story, let me tell you, so what you have just unlocked there is possibly, and this is the beauty of storytelling. This lady would have discovered a mechanism to unlock repressed memories so that people who might have suffered abuse as children and so forth could deal with it. So,
I can ask you a question.
yeah, of course.
I want to see very recorded.
Why?
People of Trinidad, are you seeing the possibility with AI? Come on, look at that. Look at that. Look at it. But you know, what was funny in this whole experience is someone else would have typed in something a little more complex. And you know she jealous the man. Yeah. She jealous the man. He just put in a little one line. She would have generated something a little more complex. And she didn't like the story. But that is it. That has to show you how creative this AI thing can get. And watch. Just learning about it, you could be able to reap the benefit.
Effective. So just imagine we both of us watching this set of flowers, right? But from my perspective, I am seeing these 2 big blue roses, or what is that, teal or whatever it is. But you now, and so we arguing and saying, this thing is mostly teal. And you say, well, no, it's mostly, what's that, some pastel color or whatever it is. But that's in nature story as well. So story is really about the storyteller telling things from their perspective. And that perspective changes
See the
according
man
to
going
where
log in the laptop.
the storyteller is located. In this particular instance
Yes.
here, what we have is a familiar story, but being told in a way that is now different. Because, as we said just now here, this lady, so her being a sound engineer was pivotal to the story. So when it was mentioned as part of the thing, I was like, I wonder where they're going with that. But I had to tell you,
They're real good.
they're real good, it's brilliant.
Boy.
Right? And as I said, even the extrapolation, just from my storytelling, experience, we could now develop that into a series where this woman helps others,
Every
With their
episode,
issues.
she helping somebody.
right?
Because if you
had
become
it?
blind,
Or we could have her go blind at the end of the thing. Somebody throws something in she face, or she get in an accident, or whatever it is. So now her sense of hearing is the only way that she deals with the world.
it gets more cute.
It's get more acute. So the beauty of what it is we're doing here today, guys, the exercise here, is that you all are experiencing story at its most fundamental level and understanding how to produce a story from a line.
My experience is
Basically, nothing.
And I
What's
am
it like?
Her experience is
headaches.
excellent.
And if you say, and if you write in there now and say, give me another story, give me a different story based on the same thing.
Serious.
Yeah. It's gonna give you a whole different story on that.
just as exciting.
Just as
Yeah.
exciting, probably more. And you say, oh, cool. No, I ain't sure which one I like more, right? Because look at what we went from. We went from action drama thing to psychological thriller, and now we're going to Renaissance.
When we started,
Nah, you start with me.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I was the parallel universe.
Right, yeah, right. So yours was complete sci-fi.
Yeah.
Complete
I
sci-fi.
think you ready or chilling?
Twilight
did you
Zone.
have big
No, I
affairs?
cannot yet. I still on Tim last.
No.
You're right,
I'll
yeah.
put you in the song. But think about your
Storyline.
story. You ready?
Yeah.
Batman lost Robin.
A woman rebuilds her life after an abusive relationship.
Why
Women love them kind of thing. I don't know. What that's called element. That element.
Those movies that make money. And in this business, that is what we are about.
Yes. Money.
And
Venture.
there's plenty stories I know. Okay, so this version, so here's a short film story idea based on a woman rebuilding her life after an abusive relationship. This version balances emotional depth, cinematic pacing, and character development in a 10 to 15 minute format. Title, Still Breathing.
Still what? Breathing?
Still Breathing.
Breathing, right?
Wow.
Genre.
I get it.
Drama, psychological. Tone, hopeful, raw, introspective. Love line. After escaping an abusive relationship, a woman struggles to reclaim her sense of self and peace, finding unexpected strength through small, quiet victories and a deepening connection with a stranger who recognizes her pain. Main characters: Maya, Fate, a quiet, intelligent woman slowly rediscovering her independence and voice. Eli, a gentle neighbor with his own scars, who becomes a silent source of comfort. Alex, in his 40s, Maya's ex-partner, only seen in fragmented flashbacks or memories. Therapist, voice only or minimal appearance, Maya's sounding board and grounding force. Blah. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not. No. Before you on. It's not black. Right. Because
That's why
remember,
we need more women here. The women and they would have like, oh.
I mean, come on. Or you know a woman like Element. I guess the AI maybe see that, pick up on the vibes. That is an element thing now, but that is to show the power of AI. It could tell impressive stories. By a little tweaking on your behalf, you could construct something that it is out of this world. As I say, it's like the clay, and all you have to do is construct the finishing touch. Now we are going right back into the video, and to the many of you that are outside there that are interested in joining the AI class, or you can reach out to me 333-2176 333-2176. You can reach out to me and be a part of this. Be a part of this excited class where you can be able to create movies without having a camera, without having a gimbal, without having a drone, without having all these fancy equipment. Just now, I ain't gonna be needing a mic. All I just have to do is think, boom, and the AI talking. I could construct somebody just like myself in that time to come. But right now, we are only focusing on nice movies and sceneries and these kind of things. You ain't have to get no, as I said, these kind of VFX artists and all these kind of things. You could do it just with a simple computer. Don't let this opportunity pass you. You're mad? Let me go right into the video again, and we will come back on the back end and we will chop this thing up.
It's not bland at all.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. And let me tell you, the original description element, these movies are amazing and they make money. That's what we're in the business here for, right? But I will also say that what you did there is just the beginning, because you could now say, give me something new, make it a little more spicy or whatever it is. You could write something like make it have higher arcs, story arcs, and then all of a sudden now is thing and she might follow, she get killed, But remember, this is a popular story. Remember, who was it again? I think it was Julia Roberts did one. J-Lo did one, right? And there's a lot of stories like this, and they always score. You know why? Because between 30 and 50% of women suffer through abusive relationships. So you are basically telling a story about a short fat man with a bald head, right? But I want to see that. I want to see that.
It was physical, it was emotional.
Right.
So I have the story too. So.
Exactly.
Or a slim man with a bald head.
That is a different story. You like that story. But it also, so it goes back to what we had spoken about, I don't know if it's last week or week before, about mirroring. The reason we are attracted to certain stories and whatever is because we like to see things that appeal to us.
Yeah.
So that is why we loved the Nigerian movies. That's why we love Fresh Prince.
I wanted to see what it would do with it, you know?
Yeah.
Right, but you could ask it to, you could even ask it to,
different.
or develop, I like it, but I want higher story arcs.
Next,
No, it just be higher up.
Was saying to, you could also empower her by making her a black belt in karate.
Yeah.
So it showed that even though she have all of this toughness going for her, she could be a victim of emotional abuse.
Yeah.
That, because all she know, but in the end she might end up beating him.
Yeah.
So
Very badly.
Take a lot of turns and twists.
because in J-Lo and them case they have to go and train to come back to fight. But if you start it off with this.
But again,
I can
using
learn our whole spiritual.
all that. All that.
And all kind of things.
All that.
You did what?
That's why.
Now I'm intrigued.
So anything. So some ideas. Just some thoughts. Everything you create with using your ChatGPT from your line, it could change.
Right.
It's not written in stone. You can enhance, you can expand, you could ask it to do other versions of, or You could say, well, no, I ain't like that. Give me something a little spicier or a little more. So, or you could write something like this. Do it like an award-winning LMN movie. So now it starts to reference and say, well, all right, so and so and so and so. And all of a sudden now, come out something and say, woo, I'm ready to go. So that's the next important thing.
Right.
If you wanted to do it even better, when you're writing after you think, write so and so, say, act as an award-winning screenwriter. And all of a sudden now the story goes from regular, which I think was already a great story, to something even better. That is the power that we have in our hands right now. Because as Errol pointed out, Branson, some of these things that you're doing here, well, of course, you a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
And time.
And time.
Before you record the first inch of film. You spend years on
Development,
project
yeah.
already. Just a casting call. But you have to hire a casting
Director.
You need a location. You need to give character definition.
Difference, yeah.
You know, and then you have to sit through all of this and that to watch.
But guess what? If you, any story that was developed here, if you say, give me a character breakdown. Mira is so and so and so. Jaden is so and so. It gives you everything that you need. So let's go to Anthony. True. Yeah, Anthony, you're on.
Dum-de-dum-dum. Now we are going into Errol's story. We go and see if he have this kind of magnanimous story. It's not competition, but it's just about learning. You know, competition does boost the learning edge. So we're going right into Errol's story and we go see, like, we doubt, like, am I here where Errol could have come up with? Are you interested? So we're going right into it. And to you, the members, stay tuned. Again, if you want to be a part of this exciting movie making venture, because we are making movies, contact me on 333-2176. And trust me, don't be a stranger. Don't be an alien. Don't be somebody that just, you know, let me see where this is going. AI is taking over the world. Trust me. What is the difference between you writing a good letter, an exceptional letter, is AI. Trust what I say. Lawyers are using it. Doctors are using it. Patients are using it. The correct doctors. Boy, this thing so phenomenal. Be a part of it. Learn the basics. Something that you might take on and go on in other, other walks of your life, because it can help with anything. It can even help with writing out that ticket. That is how serious it is. So don't let this AI understanding pass your way without you grabbing hold of the opportunity. Don't let the Terminator movie fool you. Trust what I say. AI can be used to improve your finished product to its best ability. And trust me, when that is taking place, there's always room to get better. So check us out.
This can be shot in about 10 to 15 minutes and focuses on emotion, transformation, and the power of storytelling. The title, Frame by Frame.
God, Lord.
Genre, drama, coming of age, inspirational, logline. A reclusive former director starts an AI-powered filmmaking camp for troubled teens, helping them discover their voices and rewrite their own stories, one frame at a time. Synopsis. Elijah Grant, once a visionary indie filmmaker, vanishes from the spotlight after a personal tragedy. Years later, living in quiet anonymity, he decides to give back by starting a camp frame. A summer workshop teaching underserved and at-risk youth how to make short films using accessible AI tools. The camp becomes more than just about filmmaking. It's about healing, finding identity and connection. Characters. Elijah Grant, 50s. A grizzled but kind-hearted man with a haunted past. He uses AI to help level up the playing field for kids who don't have resources. Maya, 16. A fiercely intelligent teen with a chip on her shoulder. her mother incarcerated, and she doesn't trust authority. Leo, 14, shy, autistic boy who communicates better through images and sound than words. Samira, 17, an outspoken young woman, passionate about social justice, wants to be a documentarian. And Travis, 15, former troublemaker, placed at the camp through a community program. It goes on to the structure. The spark, 3 to 4 minutes. Elijah is introduced as a recluse watching old reels in his home. News clip, rise of teen violence, digital illiteracy in underprivileged areas. He pitches the idea of an AI-powered film camp to a local community center. Teens arrive reluctantly, initial tension and awkwardness. Act 2, the struggle, 6 to 7 minutes. Elijah introduces them to AI tools, script generation, shot planning, video editing. Teens struggle, flash, and express doubt. Maya confronts Elijah, saying, "You think this AI thing can teach us to be real?" Elijah shares a glimpse of his past, how he lost his daughter, how filmmaking saved him. They begin working in teams. Leo starts creating a silent, short, using AI visuals. Maya writes a raw, semi-autobiographical script. Act 3. The breakthrough, 5 minutes. Final night of camp, a screening of the students' films. Each story is deeply personal. Maya's film moves even Elijah to tears. Teens see the power of their voices reflected on screen. Elijah watches proudly, silently editing a film of his own, a montage of the kids' journeys. Final scene. Maya stays behind after everyone leaves. She tells Elijah she's applying to film school. He smiles, frame by frame, right? She nods. Fade out to Elijah, uploads a camp documentary online. The film, the title card, created by the youths of Camp Frame. Their stories are just beginning.
That is brilliant, Aaron. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
So while we were at it, Ronnie put in a next line. He said, "A young woman, high school dropout, seems like a life fail, has to rise up and prove to a group of men that she's not easily erased." Develop this into a short film. Absolutely. There's a short film concept based on the idea designed to showcase grit, resilience, and empowerment in the face of systemic and personal judgment. It can be powerful and inspiring within a 10 to 15-minute format. Short film title, Erased. Drama, psychological thriller. Length, 10 to 15 minutes. Gritty, tense, empowering. Logline, labeled a failure and written off by society, a defiant young woman confronts the men who try to erase her, not with revenge, but with undeniable strength, forcing them to face what they never expected, her worth. Characters, Raya, 19, high school dropout, misunderstood, covered in tattoos, underestimated, smart, resourceful, emotionally guarded, works nights cleaning an old office building. Mr. Grant, middle-aged executive who sees Raya as trash, condescending and dismissive. Carl and Demi, two younger men at the film, mock Raya, record her on their phones, view her as invisible. Mrs. Ames, the one older cleaning woman who believes in Raya and gives subtle wisdom. Plot outline, scene, opening scene, setup, visual. Raya enters a cold office tower at night, putting on gloves, headphones, music drums out the world. She cleans the floors like a ghost ignored by everyone.
Right, stop there. You see that?
Okay, we now hear Errol. And now you, not only Errol alone, you could tell your story. You could be a part of this. So what is going to happen here? We are going into our next individual. Everybody doing everything. Everybody learning from everybody. So this individual here, you are going to hear from now. And trust what I said, everybody's story is great, a matter of fact. All it needs, in some cases, is just a little bit of tweaking around. And trust what I said, the possibility is endless. All you have to do is just tweak certain things within a particular direction. Take a look at this amazing story. Don't be a stranger.
upping the conflict for her now. She's nothing. She basically says to herself, I have no choice.
This is it.
And we all assuming what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't make it. Man, wrong.
You never know.
Scene 4, intimate living room. Later that night. Interior, sorry. Why is it intimate? Sorry.
Because you know what she's going to do. Oh, you're thinking of what she's going to do.
Keys jingle. She walks in slowly. Same dress, much makeup. She drops her purse on the floor and collapses into the sofa. She opens her hand. Cash. She looks toward the ceiling. I'm still here, but I don't know who I am anymore. Scene 5. Interior bed. Morning light. Next day, she wakes up. A child's drawing sits on her nightstand. Mommy, you're my hero. She picks it up, touches it, and breaks down. But this time, there's resolve in her eyes. Ending text on screen. Sometimes survival makes things easy, but survival is stability.
That was excellent. Well, we kind of have an idea. We're not sure. But so okay, I'll give you an example. Yeah, you remember me talking.
Alright. Just until then, that's the title. Drama, social realism. Intimate, emotional, moral, complex. One main character, normal cast, four focus scenes.
Ideal for film run. So if she had done a different machine, it would have probably have a different story.
Really?
Yeah, because my machine trained with me. This is my machine.
Okay.
My machine trained with me telling it, but I have some limitations with runway. Keep it one character, a little more intimate and whatever it is.
Okay.
So, when
Zion.
Zion, or no, Zion is my machine. When Ronnie uses,
Go ahead.
when Ronnie used his machine, you know, this story was thing and fighting and thing, whatever it is. So it's totally different. It was
A different approach.
different approach.
Okay.
But if you ask it, if you go home and use your ChatGPT and ask the same question,
Different, I will try it. So we're gonna have?
yeah, go ahead.
When faced with
Is it love line?
When faced with eviction, a struggling woman makes a life-altering decision. One she swore she'd never consider, to survive just one more month. But as night falls, the weight of her choice becomes heavier than she imagined. Main character, Stacy Turton, Stacy Turton, a woman with dignity, spirit, and faith, now cornered by desperation. Optional voices heard through full memory of voice with landlord, friend, mother, etc. Structure and scene breakdown. Scene 1 in apartment B. Sparse apartment, a flickering light bulb, past due notices on the counter, refrigerator mostly empty. Stacy sits on her floor in silence, unopened eviction notice in hand, tears welling, her voice over. A prayer-like internal monologue. I said I would never go down that way, never. But you don't know what you do till you get there, and I'm there now. Scene 2. What's this?
Interior bedroom
All
evening.
right.
This is a way called scene directions.
Okay.
Tell them where you are, because it's an interior.
Screenplay.
Yeah, this is a screenplay writing.
Okay. She sits in front of her mirror, her church dress still hanging on the door, her phone in hand. She stares
No,
at-
wait. Now you see how
I know.
wait. See how they use the morality of church
Exactly.
to juxtaposition or
And that's why I
conflict
put God in it,
with
yeah?
exactly
The word God.
with the idea of what she might have to do, which is something that might be
True.
seen as immoral, but then it's survival, so is it really
Far
moral
removed is it from this?
from this?
Correct. Her phone in hand, she stares at the flyer oiling. Quick cash, one night, no questions asked. A tear drops on the phone screen. She hesitates. Also, there's a voice in that.
Yeah.
Just until things get better. Just until God smiles on me again.
So she's rationalizing it now. Now, up to now, we still don't know what she's doing now. Even
And
this
after that, she
crime.
feels she's still convinced that that is not God actually smiling on her.
Yes.
I feel it the way Stacey
So
went.
she already know that whatever she's doing is not of God,
Yeah.
as they say.
Yeah.
What?
Maduro? No. Who?
What?
Prime Minister.
Which Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Who?
What?
You know, see any vessel in Trinidadian waters deadly for us.
What?
And she say, Maduro, she say, I got a statement made by the Venezuelan nationals that some kind of overthrow thing planning to drop in military forces
In Trinidad?
Yeah.
But what happened was yesterday, Maduro made a statement that
Seeing that, you would have seen all of that. Seeing that, you would have experienced all of that because we were there. Watch me, it's a little strange to hold up a little camera and see from both sides, but it wasn't professional footage, it was amateur. But yet still, you would have heard what was taking place inside the class, and you would have seen, the little group that we have there, and you could see how effective it is because again, those prompts, some of them were one lines and it was generated strictly from AI. And we are seeing the coming together and the putting together of these mechanisms that a lot of things can be done. Commercials, movie shows, research. Some of you may not have all that acumen that can be able to, go in and do a proper search. AI doing it for you. You want to know some of the nonsense that has been said in the media? Yeah, you could research some of those information. Why not? Tickets, anything. AI practically could make your script and your life better. Why stay in isolation and not want to know about AI? Come on, all this talking and it's still in calling number 333-2176. Something wrong with you or what? It is not like the Terminator. Get that in your head. You need to get that in your head. So, AI is something that can make our life better. Do not resist change. Change is the only thing that is permanent. So, again, before I go, please subscribe to the platform. Anything that we say here, it is not written in stone. Once you have your information, bring your contact claim. Let me come together and sit and debate like friends. So with that, I am out. Do subscribe to the platform and be a part of this fastest growing network, the Workers' Rights 868 network. There is none that could beat back free talk like this.